There's also the matter of a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. In 2023, White Castle was sued by one of its managers, and the fallout could cost the company a whopping $17 billion. In February, a White Castle in Illinois was found to have breached state laws regarding digital identification systems. The employees had been using a technology for 10 years that failed to ask whether or not it was okay that their personal information, in this case their fingerprints, was being assessed via a third-party verification platform.
It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
This is illegal in Illinois, and the state Supreme Court ruled that the franchise had to pay for every single instance that it occurred. A payout of this magnitude can certainly be difficult to recover from, so it's definitely reason enough to worry about White Castle's long-term future. Originally known as Boston Chicken, Boston Market has been on the decline for years, and things certainly haven't improved much in 2023. There are currently about 310 locations in the U.S. While that might not sound too concerning, if you take a look at the bigger picture, some major issues begin to become clear. At its peak, Boston Market could boast 1,200 locations. So what has led to such a severe downsizing? For one thing, there's been a fair bit of scandal. In August 2023, 27 locations were ordered to be closed by the Labor Department of New Jersey when it emerged that the franchise owed its workers $600,000 in outstanding wages. The company also had to pay a fine of $2.6 million, which only added to their pile of financial troubles. Obviously, Boston Market will need to implement some changes if it ever hopes to turn around its fortunes. There's nothing quite like filing for bankruptcy to signal the beginning of the end for a restaurant chain. And this is exactly what Old Country Buffet appears to be going through. The formerly popular all-you-can-eat chain once had more than 600 locations to its name. But as of 2023, they're down to a mere 13, many or all of which appear to be standing but not actually operating. What could be to blame for this downfall? As it turns out, bankruptcy is the culprit, and multiple filings at that. The first time happened in 2008, and then again in 2012, and once more in 2016 as well. That latter filing was precipitated by a lawsuit involving Salmonella that lost the franchise millions when it was already in financial turmoil. By the time that Old Country Buffet filed for its fourth bankruptcy in 2021, its parent company, Barbecue Holdings, had pretty much thrown in the towel for good. Since poor Old Country Buffet is basically dead already, we're hoping that it just gets put out of its misery sooner rather than later. While it might seem impossible that a burger chain as iconic as Steak 'n Shake could be destined for eternal doom, the evidence speaks for itself. The company's footprint has been slowly and quietly diminishing for a while now. In 2018, QSR Magazine reported that the chain had 626 locations under its belt. By 2022, the number had been reduced to just over 500. Now, at the end of 2023, there are a total of 493 Steak 'n Shakes across the United States. But surprisingly enough, sales actually improved throughout 2023. Despite that good news, Steak 'n Shake continues to close multiple locations. This pattern might seem strange, but strange or not, restaurants being shut down with no sign of stopping is never a good sign.
Oh no!
We're keeping our fingers crossed that the coming years don't see Steak 'n Shake completely disappearing. After all, their steak burgers are pretty undeniably delicious. If you're a fan and happen to drive by a local spot, then you just might want to consider stepping inside and showing some love. After all, it's looking like you might not have that many opportunities left to do so. Crystal is a burger chain known for its beefy creations, melty breakfast sandwiches, loaded hot dogs, tater tots, and fries. Founded in Tennessee during the Great Depression, Crystal has been serving up deliciousness for nearly a century. But its performance over the last few years is making observers wonder how much longer those burgers will continue to sizzle on their grills. As reported by Restaurant Business, Crystal filed for bankruptcy in 2020 and was sold to Fortress Investment Group. The new owners developed a plan that involved selling restaurants in an attempt to stimulate growth and profits. The process of refranchising in this manner can take a while, though. Considering Crystal's drastic demise over the past 10 years, we'd be surprised if it has the time to wait for a salvation that's far from guaranteed. Sometimes the best intentions don't yield the best results, and this is especially true in the restaurant business. Pie 5 is a quick-stop chain offering personal make-it-your-way pizzas that seem to be the perfect example of a great idea that just didn't quite pan out. While Pie 5 was developed mainly for college campuses, shopping malls, and other areas where people are looking for some quick pizza, the concept hasn't taken off as hoped. As reported by Restaurant Business, about 2/3 of the original Pie 5 locations have shuttered their doors for good. Fortunately for the owner of Pie 5, Rave Restaurant Group, they also operate another original cheese and sauce chain called Pizza in, and it's doing much